Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Dallas Stars franchise mode here in NHL 20. So in last episode we had the draft in the re-sign stage, and now we're up here in free agency looking to maybe make a couple new acquisitions for the team so we could be more competitive next season, because this last season we just barely missed out on a playoff spot, and it was kind of bad because that was the first time I think we missed the playoffs in this entire mode. So also we're going to be making a trade to start this episode because I wanted to show you guys our roster quickly. Our defensive core, I kind of have it set up where I want to play one of our young guys. So we're going to make a trade and get rid of one of our current defensemen. So as you can see at the moment here, Henton is a 79. He's technically a top 6 defenseman. But I want to be playing Haynes, and then Thompson or Taze, or both of them could be depth kind of guys. So I kind of want to upgrade the defense a bit because, as you can see, it's kind of weak. So we are going to be signing the top free agent defenseman available, and we're going to do that after I make this trade. So first, let's trade away Hentonen, as a lot of teams actually want him, and we could get back like 2 4th-round picks for him. So we're going to do that, unless there's a different deal that I want to do instead. Also, while we're doing this, I want to thank you guys for the support on the reaction video. I didn't expect to get like 1.3k views on it and all that, so thank you so much, and welcome to all the new subscribers. We're getting closer to that 1k milestone, which is pretty awesome, so if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. I don't normally say that, but I want to get to that 1k milestone by the end of the year at least. Okay, so let's find this trade. So, as you can see, a lot of teams offering 2 4th-round picks. Anybody offering something else? A 3rd and a 7th? I don't know about that. A 3rd and a 7th again. A 3rd and a 5th. I don't know if a 3rd and a 5th is better than a 4th and a 4th, though. And I want to take it from a team that would probably be doing pretty bad. So, I would assume Hartford's not doing the greatest. But they got the 3rd and the 7th. You know what, let's take 2 4ths from the Florida Panthers and send Hentonen to the Eastern Conference. So thank you for your time here, Hentonen, and good luck in Florida. So there's the first and only trade we're probably going to be making until the trade deadline. Now let's sign, who was it? Sandis Ozolinch, I think that was the top defenseman available. I'm going to bring him in only on like a 2-year deal probably because he's only 31. And the only reason I'm going to bring him in is because there's not really other good defensive options like Delores and RFA, which I don't feel comfortable signing an RFA with this team. And then Jason Smith's only an 83. And then I want to bring Scott Lachance back and all those type of guys. So we're going to sign Ozolinch. He's a top 2 defender. We're going to sign him for 2 years. And I'm going to give him 9.250. Which might be a bit of an overpayment, but I could trade him away if this team is simulating bad for some reason. So he's going to be our only signing, I think, unless we want to sign a depth forward, which we might. So let's see what there's available for depth forward purposes. So let's sort by role, see if there's any good depth forwards available. Because currently at the moment we do have a lot of RFAs that are still going to be signing for the AHL, but we don't have anybody that's really a depth forward. And we need kind of to have at least one, I'd assume. Like, we have one depth forward at the moment, but we don't have a second option, and I like to have 2 depth forwards and 1 depth defenseman. That way, if there's multiple forwards going down, at least I could replace them both with forwards instead of a defenseman. So Franzen might be actually the perfect fit. 79 overall, 25 years of age. Not too bad. And he fits the 3rd line, it looks like, only. So let's just take a look at his stats. Wow, I'm surprised this guy got let go. He only played 1 season in the NHL and he had 30 points. But he was on the power play, but still, that looks like a solid fit. So we're going to sign him for... Let's sign him for only a 1-year deal and give him $17.50. There you go. Okay, so now that we got those signings, we're also waiting on our coach to sign, because we did let go of our normal coach, I think, and offered a new coach a contract, if I'm not mistaken, in the last episode. Yeah, we did, okay. Because I couldn't remember, because I've been playing an offline franchise mode with the Islanders and all this other stuff, so I've been kind of like all over the place doing roster stuff and all that type of idea. Okay, so let's go up to the 6th, and most of these guys should sign by then. And we got a trade already, so Tarasenko and Johansson head to Hartford, and Chicago acquires Nielsen, who might be a starter prospect goalie, well, starter goalie, and a third-round pick, so that's an interesting deal. And Sove, the coach, has accepted, so that's nice. He's got a really good record in his career as well, so hopefully that guy could help us get at least to the playoffs and past the first round. So Franz in the depth guy has accepted, and Ozolinsh has accepted as well. Good job, boys. We picked up some good pieces. Hopefully Ozolinsh produces pretty well. He put up like 19 goals, I think it said last season, and like 16 assists or something, so he could score goals too. So let's go to August the 1st, and we'll take a look at the computer signings. No, I don't want to trade away Parks. A lot of people like low top nines. It's weird how AI is always trying to trade for low top nines or stuff like that. A first in Jacobs for Zdeno Siger. No, thank you. I don't need Zdeno. Alan Johnson's accepted for the AHL. That's one of those RFAs. We do still have some RFAs holding out, it looks like. Yep, Helmerson's accepted. They all should probably accept. If they don't, that would be weird. I just don't want them to hold out the entire year. First in Callahan for Tony Amonte. I'm not opposed to bringing Tony Amonte in, but I don't really have the roster space for him. And I don't even know if he fits our system that well. A lot of teams offering us some veterans. And there's another trade. Mikhail Renberg and Paul DiPietro head to the Czech Republic for 2 first-round picks and weeks. So Vancouver must be in rebuild territory. Bruce Street is accepted, and same with Ekman Larson. I think that's almost all those RFAs. I'll have to check to make sure. But let's take a look at the signings for this month. See if there's any big name signings other than our Ozolinsh signing. Because I think Alexander Holtz was like the best free agent available, and he was like an 87. Let's see, signings. So Jose Theodore signs in Sweden. Ed Belfour signs with the Sharks. Wow, that's actually really cool. So Ed Belfour started this off in Chicago. He eventually went to Florida, and now he's in San Jose. And I think he also played for the Leafs in this too, maybe. So he's been playing with a lot of the teams he played for in real life, so that's kind of cool. Any other big name signings? I'm not going to read them all, but if you guys want to pause at any time, you can to go take a look at where at. I think most of these guys are just AHL guys or new prospects, because we did have quite a bit of retirements to start this off season. So we're getting to the phase where a lot of the guys I made are all retired. Let's see, anyone interesting? I don't know any of these guys so far almost. Brian Marchman in Quebec, I guess you could say. And some offer sheets getting matched. Jeez, there's like no big name signings at all. We're almost halfway through this list. Don't recognize any of these names so far. Most of them are probably AHLers. Steve Hines in Hartford. Okay, there's some names finally. Stefan LeBeau in Hartford as well. So Hartford seems to be loading up. Another contract getting matched. Martin LaPointe signing in Boston. That's realistic because I think around this point in time he actually was with Boston for a bit. So that's kind of cool. Ragnarsson in Finland. Galanov, our former player in Chicago. Okay. Yeah, so far it doesn't look like any huge name signings. Breland, another former player of ours, and Dallas Drake sign in Vancouver. PJ Axelson signs in Boston, and I don't think he started in Boston in this. I'm pretty sure I made him for the Sweden team, and he signs with Boston. Well, it's really, really cool when you see that happen, because like it's just, I don't know what it is about it that's awesome, but it just feels good when you make a roster build and players sign with teams that they actually went to. It's pretty crazy. Anything else other than those? Mike Richter signing in Washington. It's weird. And that is it. So not a huge amount of big name signings. We're not going to check for August, because usually August is even less NHL players. So yeah, let's advance another month, because I'd like to get some of the season simulated in this episode, like maybe a good couple months, like up to January the 1st. And hopefully we are pretty competitive with this new coach, because this new coach, I think, could do pretty good wonders for us. just because he's been a winning coach, and then he also matches our fit pretty well. I think it was, I can't remember exactly what it was, maybe at like 65 or something. So Winnipeg has acquired a first in Vanier for Mats Naslund, or is that Marcus Naslund? No, that's Marcus Naslund in the 6th. So Marcus Naslund's off to LA. That's weird. And I think that's Josh Williams in the 3rd. Go to Chicago for Marlowe and Vienno. Those head to Detroit. I'm not making any trades, AI. You can stop offering me deals. Not until the deadline. But hopefully we can make the playoffs this year, because this last season was just one of the worst I've ever had with a good team. Because our team was pretty deep, but we lost still. Okay, so I'm going to make a quick jump cut to the edited lines for the start of the season. That way you guys don't have to sit around for like another 5 minutes while I edit the lines and all that stuff. So I will see you guys in a second. Okay guys, so our lineup is pretty much set up. So we got Sidor, Wong, and Sanderson. I think these guys were together last season. We have Medano, Lundell, and Clancy. Ewan makes the lineup. He was the one we acquired from the New York Rangers for Viborny. He had a really good season in the AHL last year, so might as well give him a shot this year. He's playing with Franzen, who we signed for a depth guy, but he is going to actually get the play in the lineup, because if you look at his face-off stats, he's got 86 overall there, so he's pretty good on the draw, and he was a former first-round pick, so I'm going to keep him there. We also have Keith Drake playing there. And then 4th line is Wells, Martinson, and Howes. As for defense, we got Ozelinch and Hatcher, Lindback and Soleil, and then Neckar and Haynes is going to make it in the NHL. And the good thing about Haynes is he's got some pretty good offensive awareness, so I'm hoping he pans out to being something good. I might actually want to put him on... No, I don't think I could put him on the power play, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't. Hopefully he's okay with his ice time. And then special teams wise though, our power play looks pretty good for both of them. And the only problem we really have with our lineup is our penalty kill for the 3-man. We both have minuses on them, but I don't really know how to fix it, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And then goalie wise, Nabokov and Simic. And then depth wise, we have Vorobiev, Herdina, and Taves. Hopefully Herdina, well actually we don't have Morale on, so Herdina will be fine, but yeah, that's our depth. Okay, so let's get started with this season simulation. I think already, let's just, yeah, we're listed as a champion. Hopefully we have a good preseason, and hopefully we can start the season off on the right foot. Like I said, we'll go up to probably like December the 1st or January the 1st, just to get some of the season done with. Hopefully this episode isn't too long. So first in Jacobs for Newman and Hlavik, no thank you. So our first preseason game against the Detroit Red Wings, and we're still getting offered trades in. Damn, Brian Leetch with 1 year left, but $11 million. That's too much prospects to give up for it. The Rangers just want their prospect Ewan back, it seems like, but that's a lot to give up for Brian Leetch. I wonder if Brian Leetch is going to end up getting dealt before the deadline. Because it's like in real life how he played with like Boston and Toronto in his last 2 seasons. He wasn't in New York. So we're off to a good start in this preseason, 2-0. Game against the Winnipeg Jets is another win. Yeah, we're playing good here in the preseason, but that doesn't mean really anything for the regular season. Because the regular season, I think we had like a pretty decent start, but then we just like completely dropped the ball in the last like couple months. And then we had to play catch up. And last game of the preseason is another win. So we go 6-0 in the preseason. Who led us in points out of curiosity? Mike Medano, 7 goals in 6 games. I don't know if his contract's up for renewal this year or not. But hopefully that addition of Ozelinch on the back end helps out our power play and our offense a bit. Because our offense, I think, has been struggling a bit. We've been okay defensively, I think, if I'm not mistaken, but our offense hasn't been there. Okay, so first game of the season in Toronto is a 1-1 tie. Okay, I'll take a tie over a loss, even if it is early in the season. Game against St. Louis is a nice shutout win. Okay. Nabokov's usually the type of goalie to not put up a lot of shutouts, so hopefully he can put up some more this season. We do lose to the Canucks 6-4, and we beat the Blackhawks 3-2, okay. Kind of streaky a bit so far, kind of like back and forth. Game against Boston And Ozolinsh has been injured. I didn't bring in Ozolinsh to get injured. That's one thing I did. So Taze is going to go into the lineup while we wait for Ozolinsh to return. Hopefully he's not too injury prone. We are 4-1-1 to start the season, but then again we could still drop the ball a lot, because we do sometimes start off the season really hot and then we really get bad near the deadline. Game against the Oilers, the simulation is going really slow for some reason. I feel like Ozolinsh is back. That's good, because we definitely need him. Actually, Taze is decent there, +1 only, but still. He's a solid depth option. Unfortunately, he never reached his top 4 potential, because he was a former first-round pick of ours as well, so he's been a bit of a bust, but there's our second shutout of the first month. Game against the Islanders is a 6-3 loss, so we're still kind of streaky a bit. No thank you. Last 2 games of the month, Rangers and the Islanders. We tie with the Rangers and the Islanders. We are going to... Oh, are you kidding me? Nabokov started the season decently, and he breaks his ankle till December the 9th. So we're going to have to rely on Simic, and I think our goalie prospect in the minors, DePenta. Or do I call up Stafford? Because I don't really want to stunt DePenta's growth, but... Oh yeah, this is his first year in the AHL as well. He's not been the greatest down there. Ezra Stafford simulates really well down there, though. Like, look at that, 3-0 with a 1 goal against average. And I'm still going to call up DePenta, I think, because, yeah, he's the better of the two. But maybe we should probably pick up, like, a better goalie option, like, for depth-wise, because Nabokov seems to get injured a decent amount of times. Hopefully, Lubomir Simic can get us some wins. And DePenta, hopefully you can come into the NHL and win games, even though you've been sucking in the AHL. And Zaitsev is going to be the backup, I guess. Okay. There you go. Hopefully we could get some wins still without Nabokov, because he's out for, like, quite a while. Like, over a month. We lose 6-1 in the first game without Nabokov. And it's 6-4-2 record, so a pretty good start, but, like, Nabokov getting injured is not good for our team. Sidor's over point per game, and he's almost a goal a game as well, so hopefully Sidor has that really good season. Like, he had elite potential when he first got drafted, but he's not that type of player anymore. But hopefully he has still like a 90, 80 point season. Okay, so let's go another month. I don't even know how long this video has been so far, because I have to make a cut, but let's see. So yeah, we'll go up to, I think, January the 1st if I can get this done fast enough, as long as we have no injuries. Back-to-back games against the Flyers, who are not off to a great start. We tie with them in the first one, and we lose them in the second. Yeah, this team is still kind of that streaky team that we've had in the past, which is kind of annoying. It could be because we have our goaltending injury, but a first and a third for Valery Zelepukin and Yuri Karlotti. No, thank you. That seems like a one-sided deal. I don't want to give up a first for those type of guys. Unless their overalls are pretty good, but I don't think they are. Why is it simulating so slow, though? Normally it's not this slow, I don't think, even. Game against Germany, we win in overtime 2-1. Nicely done, boys. I'll take that over a tie any day. Game against the Montreal Canadiens, who are off to a really good start, 11-3. And we beat them 5-0. Okay. So even though we are off to a streaky start, we somehow managed to beat Montreal 5-0, who had a really good record. So, and apparently it's a good year for rookies. So if we miss the playoffs, maybe we get a shot at a really good pick. Czech Republic, we win 3-2. Game against Florida, who's off to a pretty good start as well, 11-6-1 for them. This is simulating so slow for some reason. 2-0 loss. That's not good. But we are still second in our division. Game against Sweden, 1-1 tie. I'll take a tie over a loss. We got still 5 more games this month. We win 2-0 against the Russians. So Simic or DePenta got a shutout. Game against Toronto, after that 7-1 win over the Jets, is a 2-1 loss. So we're still, yeah, kind of streaky a bit. Like, we haven't been able to get a long winning streak, but we are winning games when we need to. Game against Hartford, We lose 3-1, and Detroit to end off November. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to actually get to January the 1st maybe in this episode. 11-9-4. I don't really like that record. But it might be too early to look in trading blocks and stuff like that. Yeah, we're only 24 games in, but our top line seems to be killing it. It could be also due to the injury for goaltending-wise, why we're kind of winning and losing. Like, once Nabokov's back, maybe we'll start winning again. So, yeah, let's go right up to January the 1st. Even though this episode could be close to 30 minutes, I don't know. Just so we could get a decent chunk of the season done, and we could kind of evaluate our team from there. See what's available on the block, and check the draft class and all that sort of thing. Hopefully we make the playoffs this year. And the Balkov is back, which is great. That means we're going to send down DePenta. How was DePenta simulating? Wow, he is actually really good. 1-1 with a 930 save percentage and a 1.61, so he's actually doing pretty solid. So we're sending him back down. We need to put him back in the lineup as well, because I usually forget about doing that. I did that with my Montreal series back in like September. So we're going to put in Nabokov. He is still kind of injured, so hopefully he doesn't get re-injured. And we're going to take out Zaitsev for DePenta. There you go. Okay. Game against Pittsburgh. 5-3 loss. Yeah, this team is on a losing streak now. I don't know what the problem with this team is. If we're just not meeting the system that well or what. And Nabokov's back to full health, which is great. Because I don't like it when they get re-injured. It's just too tedious to make all these roster changes. Keith Jones in a third for Fitzgerald in a third. No, thank you. 3-1 win over Toronto. Okay, we're starting to win some games again. But yeah, this simulation is going a lot slower than normal, I think. I don't know why it is. 1-0 loss to Quebec. That's not good. Game against Detroit, we beat them 5-1. I mean, we're winning against divisional opponents and mostly Eastern Conference teams, so actually we lost against a lot of Eastern Conference teams recently, too. We beat LA there 3-2. Game against Detroit again for the second time this week, and we tie with them 4-4. 3 more games this week. We lose to the Devils. Game against the Canucks in Vancouver. A little bit of a road trip. We win 3-2. A first in parks for Rob Pearson in the third. What the heck are you smoking, Pittsburgh? Rob Pearson doesn't deserve to first at all. Mighty Ducks, we beat them 2-1. Game against Sweden. In Sweden as well. Yeah, the simulation's going way slower than normal, I think. It could be because I've been playing 2K lately, but I don't know. 6-4 loss, and then we got Russia and Winnipeg left this month, and then we'll take a look at our team and see where we want to do for next episode. 4-2 win over the Russians, and game against the divisional Winnipeg Jets is a 6-1 loss. Yikes. So 18-14-5-1. We're second in our division, but this team is still being a little bit streaky. I don't know what it is, and our top line still looks like they're producing really well. So let's take a look at our player stats so far for the season, just see what lines are underproducing, and then maybe we make line changes to start next episode, or we trade some of the players. So our top line is all almost point per game, except for Jeff Sanderson, who's only 27 points, but Sidor and Wong seem to be really good together. Lindell's been good. Medano's been kind of under-simulating a bit. Ozolinch has been pretty solid to bring him in. Only a +4, though. Drake's a -9 on the third line, so maybe the third line's the main problem right now. But he has been getting up some points. Ewan's a -12. Yikes. Yeah, I think it's the third line that we need to maybe adjust. Yeah, it definitely is. Because, yeah, that line is... the third and the fourth line is mostly on for all the goals. So we need to keep an eye on our bottom 6. As for defense... our defense hasn't actually been that bad. Lindback's only got 6 points. He's on the power play, but he's not putting up that much points. That's weird. He might turn it around still the next half, but who knows. And Haynes has only got 4 points, but he is a +3. As for goaltending, Simic has been not that good, but he's won games. Nabokov's been really good. So yeah, Simic is not a really good backup option. We could upgrade our backup spot if we want to at the trade deadline or even earlier. Let's take a quick look at what's available on the block. And then that'll be it for this episode. I don't know if we'll make trades next episode or what. Like I said, I think we might want to upgrade our backup spot just because Simic is not the greatest goalie. Like, it would only be for like a temporary gain. Like, let's see who is available. Mostly prospects at the moment. Like, it doesn't seem like any goalies out. There's a goalie, Curtis Joseph. Wait, Curtis Joseph signed in Edmonton? Jeez, he went to Edmonton like he did in real life. That's actually really cool. But he is dropped off quite a bit. I don't know if there's any other goalie options though available. But if you guys see anything and you want me to trade for it, let me know. Because I'm open to trading for pretty much anything. Agu Zane wouldn't be that bad, but he's not a backup goalie. He's more of a starter. I wouldn't mind still bringing in Brian Leach at 1 year left, but closer to the deadline, I would have to probably trade something for him. Like something big. Kasparidis, Sokolov was a forward. No, that's a goalie. And that might be a better backup option. He does seem to be simulating better. Yeah, this guy might be actually decent to bring in as a backup. Bring in Sokolov and let go of our current backup goalie. Rob Pearson's available. And yeah, it doesn't seem like to be a whole lot of stuff available yet. We'll probably find out more next episode. And that is it. Okay. So I think at the moment I like that one backup goalie in Ottawa, but I don't really know what we'd up. Like, we do probably like Simic and like maybe a pick because he's a better goalie. I don't know. And quickly, let's just take a quick look at the draft class, even though it's far away. Because if this team wants to miss the playoffs, maybe we want to get somebody good. I don't know if this guy's a franchise player or not. Might end up being Devin DiPietro, nice power forward. Damien Dykehouse, Malachi Lagasse. Some interesting names there. Okay, anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Dallas Stars franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to maybe making some trades, and we'll sim the rest of the season. Hopefully, we can continue doing what we're doing because we're currently second, and we have a pretty big gap between us and the team that's out of it in our division. But, yeah, we have like a 5-point advantage currently. So anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.